You have been systematically brainwashed since childhood to become a harmless, nice guy. Your teachers, your parents, and the media have violently drilled a comforting delusion into your brain. They told you that if you are simply a good, polite, and kind person, the world will magically reward you. You blindly follow the rules, you actively avoid all conflict, you say yes when you desperately want to say no, and you wait patiently for your ultimate reward. But look around you. The brutal reality of the world absolutely does not care about your polite intentions. The nice guy is never rewarded, he is completely ignored, mercilessly exploited, and ultimately discarded. You are foolishly playing by a set of fictional rules in a game that has absolutely no mercy. Today, we open the dark chapter of manipulation and raw power, guided by the ruthless philosophy of Niccolò Machiavelli. It is time to aggressively wake up. Niccolò Machiavelli, the brilliant political philosopher of the Renaissance, did not write about how the world ideally should be. He coldly observed the world exactly as it actually is. In his brutal masterpiece, The Prince, he recognized a bitter, terrifying truth about human nature: men in general are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly in the face of danger, and entirely driven by extreme greed. When you can actively benefit them, they are entirely yours. But the exact second you actually need them, they will immediately turn their backs on you. Building your entire life strategy on the pathetic assumption that people will inherently treat you well is an act of voluntary suicide. If you blindly walk into a tiger cage and hope the tigers will not violently eat you simply because you are a vegetarian, you are an arrogant fool who deserves to be eaten alive. In this brutally unforgiving real world, unconditional kindness is absolutely not viewed as a noble virtue. It is immediately recognized by sociopathic predators as a fatal, exploitable weakness. When you always politely say yes, when you constantly sacrifice your own needs, and when you never violently erupt when you are taken advantage of, other people will never genuinely respect you. They will only think to themselves, "This guy is incredibly easy to manipulate. How much can I violently steal from him without facing any consequences?" Machiavelli explicitly warned that a man who desperately tries to be good in all circumstances will inevitably be completely destroyed among the countless men who are absolutely not good. Your excessive kindness is actively inviting severe disrespect. You are not universally loved by everyone, you are simply being ruthlessly used by everyone. The unforgiving law of nature is incredibly simple: if you actively behave like a harmless, pathetic sheep, you will automatically attract a pack of starving wolves. Machiavelli directly advised that you must be a cunning fox to deeply recognize deadly traps, and a terrifying lion to entirely frighten away the wolves. The fatal flaw of the nice guy is that he is completely incapable of calculated cruelty. He is entirely harmless. And being harmless is not a sign of high morality. Being harmless is nothing but absolute weakness. A truly moral man is a man who is completely capable of extreme violence, possessing the sheer power to destroy his enemies, but who actively chooses to maintain peace. Keep your razor-sharp claws completely hidden, but never, ever forget exactly how to violently tear flesh. When absolutely necessary, you must be fully prepared to become the most terrifying monster in the room. Machiavelli posed the most famous, brutal question in political history: is it better to be universally loved, or deeply feared? His cold-blooded answer is legendary: it is ideal to be both, but since it is nearly impossible to successfully combine them, it is far safer to be deeply feared than to be loved. Love is an incredibly fragile emotion maintained by a weak sense of obligation, and because human nature is inherently selfish, men will eagerly break that bond whenever it serves their greedy interests. But absolute fear is permanently maintained by the terrifying dread of violent punishment, which never fails. You do not have to act like a sadistic tyrant, but you must firmly establish a silent understanding: violating your strict boundaries will trigger devastatingly brutal consequences. Pure fear maintains order far better than 1,000 sweet words ever will. Pathetic, nice guys constantly cling to the childish delusion of karma. They foolishly believe that if they are violently bullied and continue to simply smile and tolerate the abuse, the magical universe will eventually intervene and violently punish the evildoer on their behalf. That is the ultimate defensive strategy of a coward and a complete loser. The universe is far too busy to solve your personal, pathetic problems. The brutal universe exclusively respects absolute leverage, raw power, and terrifying strength. It does not respect weak politeness. When a sociopath actively tramples on your personal honor, if you do not personally deliver a devastating counterstrike to entirely destroy him, absolutely no magical deity is going to descend from the sky to hand you justice. You must ruthlessly become your own terrifying karma. How exactly do you ruthlessly apply Machiavellian power to your modern life right now? You must instantly begin by establishing absolute boundaries forged in iron. You do not need to become a loud, obnoxious jerk, but you must entirely stop apologizing for your own existence. When a boss demands that you work unpaid overtime, look him directly in the eyes and coldly refuse. When a woman blatantly disrespects your valuable time, aggressively stand up and walk away without offering a single word of explanation. Do not over-explain yourself, do not pathetically justify your actions, and never attempt to soothe their bruised feelings. A high-value man absolutely never negotiates his ironclad boundaries. Any slight display of blatant disrespect must be immediately punished by the permanent loss of your valuable presence. Take a cold, hard look at the actual, undeniable rewards of being nice in modern society. In the brutal corporate workplace, the incredibly nice employee is the exact one completely burdened with the massive workload of lazy coworkers, while the manipulative sociopath aggressively secures the promotion. In romantic relationships, the pathetic nice guy is immediately banished to the deeply humiliating friend zone to serve as a free emotional dumping ground, while the woman eagerly dates significantly more dangerous, exciting men. You do not receive a shiny gold medal for being a good boy, you only receive extreme, exhausting exploitation. It is time for you to get incredibly angry. Get furiously angry that you have wasted so many years acting as a welcome mat for lesser men. Use that violent anger to entirely burn the ghost of the nice guy out of your brain. However, do not foolishly misunderstand Machiavelli's lethal core message. He did not advise you to behave like an unpredictable, psychopathic maniac. Instead of offering blind, pathetic kindness, you must master the dark art of strategic benevolence. You must forcefully transform your personal kindness into an incredibly rare luxury item, exclusively reserved only for the absolute most loyal and deserving individuals. Kindness must never be given away for free, it must be aggressively purchased with unyielding respect. Toward your fiercely loyal allies, you must reward them so incredibly generously that they are willing to bleed for you. But toward anyone who dares to betray you or stab you in the back, you must crush them with such violent, disproportionate punishment that it deeply terrifies anyone else thinking of doing the same. The reward must be incredibly sweet, and the punishment must be absolute hell. This brutal world is a complex, high-stakes chessboard, not a heartwarming children's cartoon. If you stubbornly continue to play the pathetic role of a highly expendable, polite pawn, you will constantly be sacrificed by the ruthless players who are actively aggressively targeting the throne. It is time to aggressively rip off the suffocating mask of the nice guy, and violently learn exactly how to wield raw power. Embracing the cold philosophy of Machiavelli does not mean you inherently become pure evil, it explicitly means you absolutely refuse to ever be a helpless victim again. You aggressively refuse to be manipulated. You violently take back absolute control of your own destiny. Stop cowardly waiting for this dark world to treat you fairly. Weaponize your mind, bare your razor-sharp fangs, and ruthlessly take what is rightfully yours through absolute, overwhelming force.